Hey everyone, I'm Ms. Mulkowski, the mathematician, and today we are going to solve a multi-step equation. All right, so I wrote this question kind of in the form of an SAT question so that in addition to showing you how to solve a multi-step equation, I could also give you some SAT tips. All right, so let's look at the question. If the quantity x plus 2 divided by 5 equals c, and c equals 4, what is the value of x? Great. All right, so first, right here, we have two variables. We have x and we have c, but we're told that c equals 4. So what we're going to do right away, because we know c equals 4, is we are going to take the number 4 and we are going to plug it in for c. That way, that way we only have one variable, and it's x, which is what we want to solve for, okay? So because c equals 4, that means we can replace c with the number 4. So I am going to write that down here. So we've got x plus 2 divided by 5 equals 4. Whoops. Perfect. All right, so now we want to solve for x, which means we need to get everything that's near x away from it, okay? Also, you might be looking at this and saying, I have a fraction and I hate fractions, and that's fine. So if we see a fraction, we can just get rid of it, right? So if we have a denominator of 5 here, if we multiply this side by 5, okay, that denominator will go away, all right? But then remember, whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other, right? So that means we need to multiply that side by 5 as well, okay? So that'll divide out, so we're just looking at x plus 2 equals, and then 4 times 5 is 20, okay? Now we want to isolate x. We've got a plus 2. How do we undo plus 2? We subtract 2, right? We undo addition with subtraction, so subtract 2 from both sides. We end up with x equals 18. Boom. And so our answer will be B. I could write B over here. However you want to write it, circle it, whatever. If it's the SAT, you're going to bubble it in. All right. Now, that's one way to do it. If for some reason, because when you're taking the SAT, there is pressure and it can, students can get anxious and they're not sure what to do. And sometimes they'll know something, but the moment they sit down and that clock starts, boom, everything went out of their brain. So let's talk about another way to do it. Another way to do it is you can plug in all these answers and see what one works, okay? So we're still gonna need this first step here, which is that, C equals 4 and plug in 4 for C, okay? Or you can just remember that it's supposed to equal 4 and just keep plugging in these values for x and see which one gives you 4. I think it's good to write that it equals 4 because it's good for your brain to see that. Because when you are under pressure, you can make silly mistakes. So we'll start it out like that. We say that x plus 2 over 5 equals, and then we said C is 4, so let's put it in there, okay? Boom. All right, now what we're gonna do is we are gonna start plugging stuff in, okay? So, we're gonna plug in 7 for x, okay? Because it says, what's the value of x? So these are all my possible x values, all right? We're gonna see which one's correct. So let's start with 7. So we'll do 7, okay, plus 2 over 5. And we want to know, does that equal 4, okay? So 7 plus 2 is 9, okay, over 5. And does that equal 4? Okay, it doesn't. Now, some students might go and say, oh, let me do 9 divided by 5 and see what it is. Here's the thing. You can, absolutely. Okay, that's 1.8, okay, and 1.8 does not equal 4. But here's the thing. When we're talking about the SAT, speed matters. Almost every kid I work with in private tutoring for SAT runs out of time, okay? So you just say 9 divided by 5 is not 4. Move on, okay? So that's kind of how I want you to think about it for each one. Okay, so now we know that this one failed, okay? We're going to realize the second one's going to pass. Let's do it really quickly, okay? All right, so we are looking at plugging in 18 for x, because remember these are possible values of x, so 18, all right, plus 2, and then that quantity divided by 5, does that equal 4? Okay, question mark. So 18 plus 2 is 20, so 20 divided by 5, does that equal 4? And it does, 20 divided by 5 equals 4, so 4 equals 4, we're good. So that's the right answer, all right? Now, when you're taking the SAT, this is what I say to students. If you are the type of person to run out of time, when you get to the right answer, if you're choosing the plug-in method, when you get to the right answer, just bubble it in and move on, and then come back and check the remaining 2. Does that make sense? Because there's a pretty good chance you're right, definitely more than a 50% chance you're right. And I think it's worth it because if you end up, taking another minute or 2 to plug the remaining ones in, you're going to lose that time, for later questions. And what if you would have gotten those questions right? You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's try the next one just so you can see. So we're going to do 20. So let's say we've gone through all of the test and now we still have a couple minutes left. So we're coming back to check it. 20 plus 2, right? Because we're plugging in 20 for x. 20 plus 2 divided by 5, does that equal 4? So 20 plus 2 is 22 divided by 5. Does that equal 4? Okay, now remember what I said? 22 divided by 5, does it equal 4? No, who cares what it equals? Okay, we could say, yeah, well, it's 4.4, you know what I mean? And that's all well and good, and that does not equal 4. However, that just wasted us a little bit of time trying to actually calculate it. So think of it more as, is this 4? No. Okay, move on. It's 4 something. It's 4 point something, right? Who cares what the something is? Perfect. All right. So I just realized I never marked this one was right. Okay, that one was wrong. So now let's try 23, plugging it in for x. So again, let's see, does this one work? So we do 23, okay, plus 2 divided by 5. We want to know, does that equal 4? Okay. 23 plus 2 is 25. We divide that by 5. Does that equal 4? 25 divided by 5 is 5, right? Okay, so, or you could say, like I said before, 25 divided by 5 is not 4, and 5 does not equal 4. The thing I stress about, I always used to say to my students is, what's this divided by this? Who cares? It's not what we want, right? So if it's a simple division, okay, like this is a factor of this, okay, go ahead and do it quickly. But if it's not, don't sit there and be like when we had 22, don't be like, okay, it's 4 something. Is it 4.2? Is it 4.3? Is it 4.4? 4.5? Like, I don't want you sitting there trying to think. I just want you to say it's not 4. So it's 4 point something. Who cares what the point something is, right? We know it's not the right answer. All right, so there you go. So there were 2 methods. Oh, so this one failed. Should mark that off. Okay, so again, B is our right answer. So there you go. There's 2 methods to approach this SAT type question. All right, so hopefully that helped. Hey everyone, I'm Ms. Milkowski, the mathematician, and I hope you found that last video helpful. If you have any questions or if there are any topics you'd like to see me cover in future videos, definitely let me know in the comments below. Thank you again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'm going to leave you with the most important piece of advice I can give you, which is when you're doing mathematics, always ask why.